How many times have you seen the words unarmed black man shot by police in the headlines? Those words have been printed and stated over and over and over again throughout the last few years. It has divided friends, families, and communities in our country, and is one of the single biggest issues we face as a nation. It seems people fall on one end of the debate or the other. Either you back the blue, or you view cops as racist, prejudiced animals who are worse than the criminals. This war needs to end. A major problem that humans have is our inability to see things from another person's perspective. In order to understand what the police deal with, we have to put ourselves in their shoes. When an officer confronts a suspect, be it a traffic stop or responding to a call, the officer must assume that the suspect is armed and dangerous for the safety of themselves, other officers around them, and innocent bystanders in the area. If the suspect resists in any way, this puts a tremendous amount of stress on the officers. It forces them to either talk to an angry and nervous suspect or force them to comply. Neither one of these is a good option. What people fail to understand is the fact that just because no gun is visible does not mean there isn't a gun. Also, just because the suspect doesn't have any firearm doesn't make them unarmed. Anything can be used as a deadly weapon. Screwdrivers, hammers, knives, anything. We also must understand that even if they have absolutely nothing, and keep in mind the officers still don't know this, they can be very dangerous. If the suspect manages to get close enough to the officer, they can wrestle away many things that can be used as a weapon. Firearm, taser, mace, knife, baton, handcuffs, etc. Any of these items can be used to strike, incapacitate, or kill someone. For this reason, no suspect should be considered unarmed or not dangerous because they can be. No one is unarmed until they are face down on the ground and in handcuffs. Some people argue that the officer should tase the suspect or shoot the suspect in the leg to avoid killing him. But neither of these is a good option either. Tasers should not be used in a situation where a threat needs to be stopped immediately because some people are simply unfazed by them, especially when under the influence of drugs or alcohol. And shooting someone in the leg is never a good idea. A bullet to the leg will almost always go straight through and keep going, possibly hitting a bystander. It just so happens that almost every time a police shooting makes the news, it almost always happens to be a person who's black. Why is this? It's not like white people don't break the law too. It is true, however, that blacks statistically commit more crimes than whites. According to the Bureau of Justice Statistics, there are 6 times as many blacks incarcerated as whites. Also, the National Youth Gang Survey analysis states that 35% of gang members are black, while 11.5% are white. This sparks some questions. Why are there 6 times as many blacks in prisons as whites? And why are there 3 times more black gang members than whites? No one can answer these questions, but we can have theories. Here's mine. According to the Kids Count Data Center, in 2017, 65% of blacks were being raised by a single parent, usually the mother. Compared to the whites with only 24% having one parent, that number is sky high. This is a major issue. Kids from a single parent home have a 17% greater chance of committing a crime. This leads directly to there being more black criminals and prisoners. The solution? We do our best to increase the number of black parent figures, especially father figures. Both mothers and fathers bring something to the table that the other can't, and both are crucial in the raising of a child. It doesn't have to be the biological parents. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, or even just family friends could be exactly what is needed for the child. To make this happen, we have to influence the culture and mindset of black communities. We stop dividing the towns into white side and black side, the good side of the town and the hood. This creates 2 different worlds just a few miles apart. Another interesting statistic, according to the Washington Times, black cops actually have a higher likelihood of shooting a black suspect than a white one. This could be because the media can't portray that as racism. Therefore, they have no fear of being viewed as a racist or a murderer. They won't be put on trial for shooting a suspect out of hate. On the other hand, when a white officer confronts a suspect, he has conflicting thoughts due to the threat of being fried by the media and portrayed as a hateful killer who shot someone out of racism. Once again, we are presented with a question. Why does the media portray white cops as racist when they shoot a black person? The answer is quite simple, really. It sells. That has been the media's job since its inception. They want to sell as many papers, get as many views, and spark as much controversy as possible. This keeps the audience coming back for more. The same as when a good author ends a book in a cliffhanger so his or her readers will purchase the next novel. And just like the author can sometimes take a real story and add elements of fiction to create a better story, the media does the exact same thing. When the media writes their stories, they never have all the facts. At best, they have a short video that captured some of what happened. They do not know what went down before the recording started. They don't know why the officers were there, and they don't know what it's like to be a cop. The media is like that guy in the stands, yelling at the referee for making a bad call, as if they saw it better from 60 yards away than the ref who was standing right there. Or like that guy who states that he could have made the catch that the wide receiver dropped, despite being middle-aged and severely overweight. Now let's cover the other side of the story. Just like that wide receiver can get better at route running and catching, we can do a better job at training our officers. We as a country should demand that our officers get better trained in firearms handling. According to police1.com, most police departments train with their firearms only once or twice a year. This is a major problem because when put in a high-stress situation, our bodies rely on muscle memory to function. And your muscles won't remember something you do only once or twice a year. That level of stress will cause most officers to put their finger on the trigger before they are sure they want to shoot, which is a major violation of firearm safety and usually leads to discharges when you don't really want the gun to go off. It would appear that we have many tough issues to face. We need to improve police training, do a better job at understanding what police deal with, change American culture, and do a better job raising our youth, and stop taking everything the media says to heart. Times are changing and we should too. This is crucial for the future of our society and our country.